Ja, goeienaand, dit is Dinsdag aand, ons kuier hier op For Anglers Live, Bank Anglers Facebook bladsy en natuurlijk For Anglers YouTube kanaal. Thank you to everybody watching, and we're going to have a packed program tonight with special guest with us, Melvin Victor from Yamaha. Melvin, welcome.
Thank you, Werner, for having me. Yeah, great to be here.
Now, Melvin is, of course, a boating specialist, and we are going to talk to him about boating, offshore angling, a couple of interesting things on motors, etc., etc. But we are also giving away a couple of things. But firstly, all the thank yous. Thank you, Gijs Spitzer Motoring, for sponsoring as a main sponsor of this program. And Orion Audio Visual, that's our technology partners to make sure that we have all the right equipment in the studio so that you can watch. What are we giving away? Nou ja, ons gee nog 'n paar goedjies weg. Ons het al begin 'n 3 weke program wat ons gehardloop het met die Daiwa Sling, wat ons vanaand weggee. So daar was 'n klompie ouens wat natuurlik al 3 vrae reg het. Julle name is op die wiel. Ons gee hom vanaand weg. Dan gee ons die ProLogic Avenger, 'n pragtige spesiekatrol wat ons ook 'n review op gedoen het. Julle kan die review gaan lees op For Anglers. En ons gee hom weg aan een van ons gelukkige For Anglers lede. En dan die volgende prys wat ons gaan weggee, hy gaan so vir 2 of 3 weke, hy gaan vir die volgende 3 weke hardloop. Natuurlik Campmaster, 'n pragtige cooler box van Campmaster. We are giving that away to one of our For Anglers members. It will be an annual member that either renews or joins in the next 3 weeks. So that's what we're giving away. Now, Campmaster is also one of the sponsors that makes a very interesting competition available. So this weekend coming up is a Rietspruit at Amigos. Ons het nou al 'n paar keer daaroor gepraat en ek wil gou vir julle 'n paar goedjies gee. So eerskomende naweek, daar is nog 'n paar kaartjies oor vir Amigos by Rietspruit Dam, wat natuurlik Campmaster en in samewerking met All Out Bookings gee natuurlik maak dit moontlik. So daar's R10,000 se pryse van Campmaster, R2,000 van Just Fish, Wild On Angling R2,000, Bowline Voer R2,000, Supercast R2,000 en sommer nog 'n hele klompie verder. Nou, hierdie pragtige trolley is ook deel van die pryse en hy's natuurlik vol gestok. Kom ons kyk hoe lyk hy. So daar's nou al 'n klompie goed in, hy gaan nog voller raak deur die loop van die tyd en dis ook een van die goed wat jy kan wen. Nou al wat jy moet doen is om daar te wees, maak seker jy gaan na All Out Bookings toe en jy gaan verseker jou plek by Rietspruitdam in die naweek wat voorlê. Rian Alleman gaan natuurlik ook daar wees, hy is ook een van die marshals en van die beamptes, hy en Jonathan Adams wat ook 'n skrywer is en 'n oeverengelaar. Hulle gaan daar wees om julle te bederf natuurlik saam met al die ander borgers. So maak seker as jy nog nie 'n kaartjie het nie dat jy daar gaan wees. Nou wat julle ook kan gaan kyk, ons was die afgelope naweek by die Fishbow, the Fishing Expo, we were there, and during the next week or so we will start showing you a couple of very interesting videos and share what we saw at the Fishbow. So just watch For Anglers and of course the Facebook pages of the Bank Angler, Tightlines, etc. Nou ja, dan sê ons baie dankie vir Yamaha wat hierdie volgende insetsel vir ons moontlik maak. Melvin, something interesting is happening in Joburg.
Indeed.
So if I look at the brand new Tightlines is out, it hit the shelves yesterday. So you can pick up a Tightlines from any of your favorite stores, and you can also have a look at a very interesting article of innovation with Yamaha. That's all about this. So go and have a look, read that article. It has to do with Helmmaster, etc., etc. But there's another place where you can go to watch or to learn or to see or to enjoy or whatever, anything about boat angling, boating, motors, etc. What is the event about and when is it and where is it? Yeah, Melvin?
Yes, Andrew, thank you. I think we've decided we all, after COVID, we need to get out and things that now is returning to normal. As I say, the new normal, we've decided to put up a Yamaha boat show at the World of Yamaha this coming weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A lot of boats. We try to get there at least 65 different types of boats, from offshore boats, from second-hand boats.
65 boats.
65
different
boats.
types.
Different types. Different, like I said, offshore boats, dual-purpose boats, second-hand boats. We'll even have a blue tag corner where blue tag meaning we'll have special offers on certain boats there which you can come in and negotiate pricing from that side. So yes, we're going to have a great day out, great day of fun. Like I say, we've decided to incorporate all our company stores, which is we've got one in Randburg, Linex Randburg, Linex Linwood in Pretoria, and then obviously World of Yamaha. We've combined all three stores together with all their stock at one place, one venue. Where to go? It's on the Mike 1 south from Pretoria down going to Joburg. It's right next to Birchmoor's, 19 Eastern Service Road. You can't miss it. World of Yamaha. They call it the cheese factory on the left-hand side because there's a couple of rings that looks like a cheese factory. But if you pass it today or tomorrow, you'll even see there's a lot of boats out there. So yeah, that's where we're going to have it this weekend.
What is going to happen at the boat show? Firstly, is it a Yamaha exclusive?
Absolutely, it's Yamaha exclusive. Obviously, new products, it's just Yamaha products. Pre-owned products, obviously, anything from that side. Yeah. Big thing is it's for free. Your entry is for free. There's no gate fee whatsoever. People like Mark Delahaye is going to be there. Lawrence is going to be there with all their fish finders. You're going to have Club Marine there. Getting back to Mark Delahaye, as you know, he's quite a well-known angler in the industry. He'll have a couple of talks on the Saturday.
And just hold on, a little bit later, we're going to have Mark Delahaye on a nice video that we've prepared for you that shows us about launching the surf. So just hang on, you're going to see that as well tonight.
Yeah, that's great to see that. The stuff he puts together from that side is very informative for different areas launching. So he'll be there. He'll do a couple of talks there on the day. We'll have Rockford Sound Day, obviously for marine science and things. We'll have the Monster Truck there. We'll have giveaways there. So yes, it's going to be 3 days of jam-packed action. We'll show the rugby on our big screen in our theatre. And then obviously the MotoGP on the Sunday as well. So absolutely jam-packed.
So it's Friday, Saturday and Sunday?
Correct, yeah.
What time in the mornings do you start?
On the Friday, Saturday and Sunday, we'll start at 8 o'clock in the morning. So you can be there early. And then Friday we'll run to 5 o'clock. Saturday we'll do till 5 o'clock. And then Sunday 4 o'clock basically.
A little bit
earlier, 100%, okay. Yeah. But yeah, great venue, great setup.
Okay, so and you say on Saturday you're going to watch the rugby as well?
Absolutely. I think the rugby kickoff is 11:30.
Yeah.
Obviously, at World of Yamaha, we've got this big theatre there, which will have a big screen there, so we'll view that as well for the people to come and watch rugby there and have coffees at our lovely canteen.
And hopefully we're going to have rugby and not rugby with soccer.
Yeah, the Oscars. Yeah, no, absolutely. Let's hope for this one's going to go a bit better then. Absolutely.
Obviously, talking about actors, whether they're on the rugby field or not, what shows can the what do you call them, the showgoers look forward to? What activities are going to happen?
I think, like I said, the Mark Delahaye talks. There's one at 12 o'clock, and then there's one at 3 o'clock. I stand corrected, but there'll be 2 talks. Lawrence will also have a slight technical talk on their systems and obviously set up different features on their units combined with Mark's talk. So I think from an offshore angling point of view and setup on your boat, that's going to be very informative from that side as well.
Okay, so if I want to know technical questions on how to set up, which unit to use, how to rig a boat, those are the type of questions that Mark and the guys from Laurence will be able to.
Absolutely. From a fish finder perspective or GPS perspective, set up on boats, rod holder positions, that type of thing, correct setup for your consoles, or just if you're out there looking for a new boat and how to rig the boat properly. That obviously from myself side and Mark and all the technical guys around, we can help you from setting up a new boat to the current boats on the show, that we can help you and point you in the right direction. So yes, very, very much technical support from that side.
What do you have that is new? What are the guys going to see that they haven't seen anywhere before?
I think that the highlight of the show for something new perspective is the new Hellmaster system, which was launched in this year on our offshore boat range. We'll have a single installation there, which is a joystick operated system, where it'll be the first in the industry, obviously, operating a single motor with a joystick with autopilot, that type of thing. Which is
let's just talk about now for all our boaters, just thinking about Hellmaster and what you're talking about, it's outside our frame of reference. So I think just step back a bit and tell our viewers, what on earth is Hellmaster? Mm-hmm. How does it work? And what is the purpose?
I think if you make it in layman's terms, something simple, it's a joystick that you can operate the motor with. Instead of using your steering wheel, conventional steering wheel, it actually comes into play, especially when you maneuver in close areas, when you come into docking type thing. So you can use your joystick to operate your outboard engine, forward, back, sideways, spin around. Obviously with twin motor installation, you can spin it around. What is very nice is when, with a fishing point of view, it's got a stay point and a fish point. Stay point, obviously, if you need to wait for something to lift, like Bridges, it's in Francis, you can press the stay point button and the boat will stay stationary.
Like iPilot type of thing on the drone.
Absolutely. Look, obviously everything is linked to your GPS system, satellite positioning system from that side. And then obviously fish point, wherever you want to go and fish. You can put in 3-4 waypoints. You can put the outboard into gear, and it will take you to all those waypoints. It will actually slow down the boat, which is phenomenal. If you guys come out on Saturday, I will show you the videos on that. The boat accelerates and decelerates by itself, and then goes on to all the points where you want to go fish.
So it's like the Tesla of boats.
Absolutely. No, look, it's phenomenal. It's a game changer. Obviously,
does it actually have an autopilot type of function?
Full autopilot system. You can take your hands off. Once again, I've got videos which we can post, where you sit back and the boat does everything. It will steer for you. It will decelerate, accelerate. It's phenomenal. It's a game changer. It's really, especially on your big boats with twin installation, when you want to do a certain pattern steer, or you want to do spiral or autopilot in and out, avoid dangers, that type of thing. It's really, really a phenomenal system. And it's the first system where the autopilot is linked with the Yamaha outboard system from that side. So it's all in-house developed. It's not add-ons from different manufacturers or different things where you need to buy different things to match with the Yamaha. It's all Yamaha built. So
and what about the sonar and the GPS?
Obviously, the link, you can link with any system. So you can go Garmin, you can go Lawrence, you can go Simrad, Raymarine, any system you can link up. Yeah, Hummingbird from that side. So yes, I mean, it's all linked in with each other. That's phenomenal.
Now, what is the difference between a single installation and a double installation, and where are the limitations between the two?
Well, single installation, single outboard engine on a boat, and then obviously dual installation is twin installation on a boat. Normally when the guys, the bass fishermen will have a single installation, your estuary fishing guy would have a single installation on a dual purpose boat. Dual purpose meaning you can fish and you can take the family out on a water ski, dual purpose. When you go offshore, obviously when fishing offshore, twin installation is better. Why? Obviously it's safe. If you're into trouble, you need to have one engine to come back, or in the surf, if something goes wrong, you can take yourself out of the problem area. So that's single and dual installations from,
But from Hellmaster, you were speaking about functionality that the Hellmaster gives you on a twin installation that on a single installation it does not specifically.
Look, very similar. However, the Hellmaster single installation, I was going to say Hellmaster EX. Hellmaster was the first generation Yamaha product. Now it's the EX, which has evolved to the EX. So sorry about that. Single installation, people coming into moorings, there was always a issue where you need to go in gear, out of gear, in gear, steer, that type of thing. So what Yamaha has developed now for this type of environments is the joystick. So you can use the joystick to maneuver yourself closer and more accurate into a parking area from that side.
Does that mean when you've got twin motors and you've got the Hellmaster, that it can actually put one motor in reverse and one in forward?
Absolutely. It does everything for you. So you manipulate, the joystick is linked with obviously all the ECUs and things to your control box, to the motor, the back. Fly-by-wire, obviously, drive-by-wire. It must only be on drive-by-wire. It can't be on cable, that type of thing. But obviously, everything is controlled by a sensor computer with that type of thing. But yes, you can use the joystick to stay at one point. You can actually tell, we've used the boats in PE where we were outside the harbour, and you can plot on the GPS to your mooring on its own. You can plot it, you can leave it, and the boat will do everything.
It will park by itself.
Absolutely.
Well, excellent.
Yeah, that's the new things out there. Yeah, great.
That is truly going forward, I can almost say the Tesla way for boating.
Yeah.
Well, let's go and have a look at, we were at Saltwater, and we are starting to run a number of these displays. So we were at the Kingfisher stand. Now bear in mind that I can only show you about 5 minutes of what happened on that stand. You need to go and watch the full video on For Anglers on our YouTube channel or on our digital platform, foranglers.co.za, to go and see what are all the nice goodies that Gilbert talked through on the stand at Saltwater. So let's have a look what Gilbert showed us. It is the second day of the Saltwater show, and we are starting a nice fresh morning at the Kingfisher stand with Gilbert Foxcroft. Gilbert, quite a nice stand, big, lots and lots of stuff. How many of this is new?
Well, Werner, yes, we've got, across the range, we've got a lot of new stuff. There's also a lot of new stuff coming. So there's a couple of items that we don't have here that is arriving within the next couple of weeks. So we've got lots of new reels. Obviously, the main center of attraction is the Saltwater, as well as the Saltist range of the MQ range of reels. We've got the Ninjas, we've got the Lagunas, we've got all of those reels on display. For the people out there that don't know, the Ninjas had a facelift a year ago, so it's now the Light and Tough range, or the LTs. Bigger drag systems, much smoother operations, and yeah, so across the range there are, on the clothing side, we've got lots of new stuff, lots of new caps, beanies, all those sort of things. There's also on the Megaforce Tiger Tamers, we've got that range upgraded. You guys used it last year on the Hier Gaan Ons Alweer show. We've got the new emblem rods. So yeah, there's quite a few brand new items that's really exciting, especially on the deep sea stuff. You'll see the octopus. It looks so real. And it comes with little ink pots, so really exciting.
Well, let us not waste any more time and let Gilbert get into the new ranges and everything that is new, so that you can see what you can go out and buy.
Right, normally we start in a chronological order, so the first things first, our Mustard range. It is a comprehensive range of hooks, from the old-fashioned shad hooks all the way through to the circle hooks, bank angling hooks, bass hooks, and everything in between. We've got those very, very small fly fish hooks, a very, very comprehensive range indeed. Obviously also focusing on treble hooks, and I mean, it's absolutely massive. These are also massive. So you know, everything from the smallest hook to the very, very largest hook, we cater for everything. As you know, the Kingfisher swivels are legendary. So for those of you that don't know, barrel swivels, three-way swivels, snap swivels, rolling swivels, and then we also do the power swivels. And again, we start from the very smallest to the very largest and everything in between. For the discerning saltwater anglers, obviously the packet says it all, toothproof. These are for all those fish with the monstrous teeth. Then of course we also have the Fishmate carbon coated and nylon coated wire. We also have the stainless steel wires. We cater for the whole lot. Obviously for the art lure guys in the saltwater, our chaos plugs, mustard, bucktail jigs, and the range is seriously comprehensive, from really small to very large, and it caters for a wide variety of applications. Now you guys would have seen this on the Hirganon Salveer over the past couple of seasons, the mimic paddle tails. Obviously if you want to catch those beautiful cobs and snappers, etc., these ones are great. We also have a great selection of rattler lures, from really small ones to the big monster poppers for the big GTs. We cater for the whole lot. Slow trolling, the whole shebang. Our saltwater ready-made tracers are legendary. You can look out in the shops for these. We cater for almost all the species that you can find on our South African coastline, from sliding rigs all the way through to the very popular shad tracers. Now this is something really innovative. This is a jig, but it looks like a real octopus, and it's got little ink pots. So you actually get inside the packet, there are 10 ink pots inside, and it comes in a variety of sizes too. We also have a wide variety of other jigs, but this is something that you need to look out for. Really innovative, and I think it does the job properly.
Thank you to Kingfisher for making this next insert possible. Just before we go back and talk further to Melvin, as I said, we are giving this beautiful ProLogic Avenger away to a lucky 4Anglers member. But if you are interested in it, go and have a look, pick up the latest tight lines, and go and have a look at the review that Rian Besaidner did. Excellent review, gives you all the ins and outs, pulls this reel apart, fishes with it, and gives you all the nitty-gritty detail about this reel. So pick it up and go and have a good read about this specific reel. Now, we're going to have, later on, we're going to have more of the new series of ProLogic reels. So just hang in. Next week we'll talk more about them. Then, yes, Melvin, you are obviously a boating specialist, and motors and water sport and things like that is in your blood and your passion and everything. But you're also an angler. You also like fishing. You also like going out. You also like fighting the giant.
If I get the opportunity, yes, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, if you're not working too hard.
Yeah.
Because the boating industry nowadays is pretty tough. It's not a sail in the park. Yamaha's doing well, but you've got to grind for your
Absolutely.
for market share.
100%. Yeah.
So you guys are always all over. You're always all over the country, and you're really working hard, you and your staff. So when you get time to go fishing, what do you like?
Look, I'm originally from Cape Town, as you know.
Don't worry, we won't hold it again.
Yeah, but I've been in Joburg for about for 10 years now. But I love the tuna fishing in Cape Town. That's where I sort of start fishing, love fishing. That's obviously going offshore 40 nautical miles, spend the whole day on the water, and getting an opportunity to catch a 68 or 80 kilogram tuna. Fight for 2-3 hours.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, it's a great experience. Yeah, it's really good.
How do they go about it? That's far to go out.
Absolutely. Look, for those who know, in Cape Town, the continental shelf is about 30 nautical miles out. If you go out south through either by Cape Point, 20 miles out, then the continental drop off. That in the current line, depending on the time of the year, 20 miles or 50 miles off.
For us normal inland anglers, what is a nautical mile?
I stand corrected, but I think it's 1.83 kilometers. It's 1 nautical mile. So obviously, when you fish, you work in nautical miles. That's just the term we use.
Yeah.
So
50 k's out is like more like 90 or something like
50 nautical miles, yeah. So it's far out. It's about 70, 80 k's out there. So you travel, obviously, you launch from either in the Falls Bay area or Hart Bay area, depending where the fish are. So you travel at least hour and a half, 2 hours just to get to your fishing area where you want to fish. So if it's normally the water and the weather's not great, so that's Cape Town fishing. So then once you get out there, then you start trawling or bait. For all you know, baiting meaning obviously putting your rod in the gunnel, getting behind a stern trawler. Because obviously stern trawlers, they fish, they get nets, they work the fish on the boat, and obviously they pump out the chum on each side, and that's where your tuna come up, wherever fish. That's normally when you get the big fish, depending on time of the year.
So you chase the sterns?
Yes, you chase the sterns, and then you come right behind them, and almost touching distance from them. You put your rod in, and you obviously get your pilchard. You put it on your hook, and then obviously you just strip some line and get it down. And sometimes you can actually see the tuna come up and grab and eat it. And that's the best feeling, obviously, when you feel your line go tight, and then it's game on.
What is your biggest tuna?
68.5. That's 68. It's not it's a big one, but there's a lot of big fish out there which 80, 90. But yeah, I mean, those things can fight you anything from an hour, 2 hours. Really strong, very strong fish out there. Yeah. And that feeling, obviously, being out there catching one of those big ones, and like I say, when you can see them actually get a hold of that hook, and then it's fight time. And it's a different fight as well. It's obviously rough seas, rough conditions. It's really hard fishing, but it's great.
You've got to have the stomach for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
what do you do not to get seasick? Obviously, they say you have to have sea legs, but
I don't know. I grew up on boats, obviously in Cape, so I've never touched wood, had seasick problems out there. A lot of guys take tablets. A lot of guys eat bread in the morning, dry bread. I don't know. I mean, yeah, there's nothing.
What are the
have a beer maybe before you go out. I don't know. But yeah.
What are the tails? What are the fishermen's tails on the boats? What do you say?
Definitely no.
When the Walies come down there, what advice do they give them?
Yeah, obviously there's a fish tails like never bring banana on the boat, eggs, tomato on bread. I think that just tastes weird though. But those type of small things. Yeah, so it's interesting when the Walies come out. You always try to put them in the cabin to see what the feeling is to roll around. But yeah, normally safest place is obviously right at the back, and it's much more stable. But yeah, fishing in Cape Town, obviously with tuna as well, it's great. And then something different is your snook catching. Obviously, up A17 Way, wherever the snook is, a slightly different snook to the Durban snook. My dad taught me how to catch with a hand line, so I love catching snook with a hand line. Back in the day, obviously, you see guys out there, the commercials catching 3 lines at a time. That's
how does that work? How do you? What is the mechanism of catching them? What is the bait that you use? How many hooks?
So snook is quite different. Obviously, they sometimes are very skittish to the word. Sometimes they only take what you call spinners. Yeah. Sometimes they only take pike. Sometimes you have to chump for them. So there's different ways of and understanding how they feed as well. Obviously, they feed on krill, that type of thing. Normally, you just use a spinner. You can trawl for them as well, depending if they're close to the surface or not. And then obviously, you can read on your fish finder where they are in the depth. So then basically, you can use a spinner and just chuck it out straight, as the guy is saying. As it drops through the school of fish, you can have it. Obviously, I'm talking about hand lines now, but similarly on the rods as well. So there's many ways of, like I say, with bait, live bait, not normally live bait. They normally pike, dead pike, or pilchard for that matter. But interesting, yeah.
If the snook are on and you're loading, that's hard work.
Absolutely, and obviously you've probably seen it on TV or wherever. There's a technique that's learned when the last pull, obviously because the snook is wild, you've seen the teeth and those things. So all the sort of hardy guys, what they do is the last pull, they throw it under the arm and then break the neck. So the quicker you break the neck, obviously the lactic acid sort of don't become pup, as they say. Yeah. Or normally, like I do, I throw between my legs, which is quite risky sometimes. You put it between your legs and try to break it. But yeah, that's
you must watch where it's biting then.
100%. So
have you ever been bitten by a?
Very much. So the tail is obviously after night's fishing, you've obviously got a lot of bite marks, and if you line that type of thing, obviously you got your finger lock, but still, baking soda, hot water, baking soda, put your hands in it as long as you can bear, and that obviously draws out all that the bed, the saw in it and things like that. Because snook bites can actually
poisonous.
Yeah, can get infected badly.
Yeah.
But you get used to it. But it's all, that's why I like this sort of type of fishing from that side, yeah. And then obviously when you move up to the warmer water, spend time some with Mark on the boat.
Just while we're at Eiserfontein, there's also an event there that is it an annual event or a biannual event?
Eiserfontein is my sort of hometown as well. And each year it's called the Snook Derby, the Kreef and Snook Derby. And as you know, Kreef, you can pull by net there. And then Snook, the biggest snook for the day. So it's normally a 2-day competition, 1-day fishing, 2-day weather window. It's normally over your 16th December, the holiday day, that time period. But a great event. Get a lot of anglers there. Once again, go out to the island, Dustin Island, which is about 5 miles off. And the snook is normally inside the island. So the water is normally beautiful there. So it's really a great day out fishing from there. So it's a nice event, a lot of people. And that's the event where Yamaha is involved as well. Nice prizes. There's other events around the year.
What type of prizes?
So normally this year we've got a nice big prize. We're looking at offering a set of outboard engines.
A set of outboard?
So yeah, we're looking at a set of 4-stroke 60 horsepower.
Wow.
We're busy negotiating that.
Penny.
But yes, I mean, you're looking at that, it probably says it's going to cost you about 200 grand prize money minimum. A lot of generators we give away, Yamaha generators, which is obviously this, as we know, with load shedding, comes quite handy. And then a lot of spot prize, that type of thing. Great event, really fantastic. Like I say, it's close to my heart. It's my area where I fish from. I'll be down there as well every year, supporting it. But yeah, it's a nice event.
Let's talk Natal waters. What's your favorite?
Look, I haven't experienced much Natal, but I do like the kuta, right? That type of thing. The smaller little tunas they catch, relative to that area, it's quite a nice on light tackle, which I experienced, which is fantastic fun. Obviously, it's different to the Cape Town fishing tuna, but that type of thing. And
have you ever done it off a kayak?
No, no, I've seen
it.
No, I've seen it. Yeah, it looks very interesting.
I got pulled over by it, and I had to fight it get back on the kayak.
Looks, interesting.
Yeah.
And then I've had the opportunity to catch a blue marlin, which I'm very fortunate. In the 2014 bullfish.
Yeah.
Obviously, which we Yamaha sponsored for many years now as well. So I was on the boat with Piet Kukumur, which is Dreamcatcher at the time, trawling the whole day, and obviously each guy get a turnaround clock. And as we were trawling, it went off. We trawled the whole day, so it was late afternoon, sort of coming to lines up, and it was my turn. I was like, it's my turn. I got in the chair, and 2.5 hours later, we got the blue marlin next to the boat. And on the ICFA tape, we got the ICFA tape out. The ICFA tape said it was like 380 pounds.
Yes.
But a beautiful fish. I've got a
2.5 hour fight.
2.5 hours. It spooled us about 4 times. We had to stern on it properly. As you go into the current, it didn't like it. Strip onto the backing. Got it back. Yeah, it was a big fight.
It's a hell of a fight.
Hell of a fight, yeah. No. But the team members around you obviously help you and fit you with some Lucozade and that type of thing.
It's like a marathon.
Yeah, it's 100%. You would know about marathons. But yeah, that was a big highlight for me. It was really great, yeah. But also I'm fishing.
What saltwater fish is still on your bucket list?
I would say 100 kilo tuna, a big eye, in Cape Town waters. Slightly bigger fish, much heavier fight because it's, as they say, it's very loaded. The smaller tunas, like your 30, 40, 50 kilos, are very active. They fight the whole time. They run and they're all over the show. Where your 100 kilo tunas, as they said, it's
like
very
a plug.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind catching 100 kilo, definitely. Then I'll be happy. I'll be very happy. Yeah.
Well, let's go and have a look what Mark Delahaye tells us in terms of launching a boat from the surf in Natal waters, and have a look at the type of motors and everything he's got on that rig.
Yeah, welcome to Salmon Bay, the home of Belito Ski Boat Club. Very notorious for a big shore break and quite a challenging launch. So what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be launching with the Seacat 636 center console. Got 2 Yamaha 104-stroke commercials on it. And the reason why we pair those motors up with that boat, they've got a lot of torque, and that's exactly what you need in a short launch like this. If you have a look at the launch from an aerial perspective, you can see on either side, north and south, there are two sets of rocks in the shore break. You've probably got about 100 meters distance between them, so you always got to bear that in mind when you push in. You see the beach, it's got a very steep beach, so obviously you need to use the tractor with a push pole. What you'll do is you'll put a little bit of Cobra polish on the bottom of the boat, line it up with the tractor and push it down. What you need to do, you're going to watch the waves roll through. The best wave to push in on is the big one that breaks at the back and washes through nice and consistently. If you have a look at the launch today, it's a little bit cheeky and all over the place, so getting wet there's a high possibility of it, which I think we did. Alright, when you look at the launch, there's two aspects to it. The first aspect is to get into the water, and you need to do that safely. So you're going to push in, and right next to the shore is a deep gutter. So what you want to do is time it right, push it in, get the boat in the water, trim the motors down, and sit there and wait for your gap. What you'll do is when the wave breaks at the back, it's going to wash right through and it's going to lose all its energy just before the shore break. So you want to sit as close as possible to the shore break and wait there for your gap. You've got a nice deep gutter and everything's calm. When you pick your gap to go out through the surf, the one thing you must always remember is if you're going to get caught at the back, think about your exit strategy. So you've got to know that you can go far enough to turn, miss the rocks, come back into the inside, reset again, reverse up to the shore break and take your time and wait for your gap again. If you have a look at the launch, the first time we went out, there was a bit of action. So instead of punching a wave, because the wave is the only winner, turned, came back inside, spun the boat around and waited again for a gap. Obviously, once you get your gap, try not to head too far north or south. If you get caught far north or far south, there's a lot of rocks and there's a lot of trouble. But if you try and take it straight out and there's a bit of trouble, you can always turn and come back to the beach. Right, when you're beaching, it can be quite tricky with a big shore break. The hardest thing about it with a big boat is that you can't sit right behind the swell and chase the wave up. What you got to do, depending on the angle of the swell, today the angle of the swell is coming out of the north, so you start north, line up with the rocks, come in sideways and get some speed up, run across the swell, and as the wave washes up the beach, you chase it up, so you've got nice momentum to get away from the shore break. If you have a look at the beach crew, Donnie and Martin and Wiseman, they're always ready with the rope, so as you hit the beach they'll hook the rope on and winch you up to safety if you beach too short. So yeah, once again, very important, pick a swell that goes right across the bay, follow it in from the north or the south at an angle, and then you chase it up the beach with momentum. It's very dangerous to ramp a shore break and land. You can do yourself serious injury, so you've really got to be awake and pay attention when doing that. Yeah, this area of Ballito it's got some fantastic fishing year round. You get a lot of dorado and wahoo during the summer and yellowfin tuna. And during the winter you get good garret fishing and queen mackerel. If you're adventurous and you want to go out to the ledge, which is about 40 k's out, there's some really great marlin fishing there too. A couple of the spots you need to know if you come here as a visitor, the Ballito wreck. It's 100 meters from the launch, and that's where you can catch a live bait. And another really good spot is Salt Rock, the area by the nets there. There's a little reef and you can catch a live bait there. Also in those areas you can catch king mackerel, you can catch the dorado in summer when they're coming closer, and you can also catch really good yellowfin tuna. In between the wreck and Salt Rock is a really good place for queen mackerel. So it's all really close, and we'll give you the waypoints for those two places to catch your bait. And that's courtesy of Lowrance, and just to get your day started off and get you going in the right direction. So here are the coordinates for the Ballito wreck, and these over here are the coordinates for the Salt Rock, for the bait mark. If you want to launch here as a visitor, you need to get hold of the Ski Boat Club. Alice de France, his number is 082 556 1254. Any other information you need, yeah, you can give the guys a call, see what the procedure is, and just come and enjoy the facilities. As I said, it's a great club, good vibe, a lot of fish to catch, and I hope that the video has helped you if you're going to launch here. Obviously speak to the locals about the sandbanks on the day, but generally that's how you'll do it. And any other questions you can ask the locals, and they're always willing to help.
Well, that was Mark Delahaye. So if you ever want to go out boat fishing, contact Mark Delahaye and feel safe with him on the water. He's really a good skipper. He knows his story, as you can see. And he knows fishing, so don't hesitate. And of course, he's got Yamahas on the back of his boat. Talking about Yamahas on the back of your boat. As an angler, whether I've got a small boat, a big boat, or whatever, how do I go about selecting or deciding what motor?
Obviously, it's important to understand what you want to do and where you want to use your boat. Let's argument's sake, you've got a boat already. From a small little dinghy or rubber duck, what size horsepower, what application you want to use for. You want to just use the putt around, you want to go on the plane or not. And then obviously mid-sized boats, monohull, which is single hull, and then obviously offshore boat, that type of thing. Then you can narrow it down to what your application is going to be. Getting back to the smaller semi-rigids or rubber ducks, blow-up, inflatables, the ones you fold up and put in your car, put a 5 horsepower on the back. Lightweight, it's easy to maneuver, you can store it in your car, and that will be sufficient for you to plod around, take your rod with, that type of thing. Going slightly bigger.
On those little smaller motors, what sizes do you have, and how do I pair it up with a rubber duck for, let's say, a 3.6 meter?
Yeah.
What do I need there? Is a 5 okay? Can I go smaller?
Look, the ones we've got the Yamaha duck as we branded it last year. Nice little boat. It's a fold up. In other words, you can take the floorboards out, you fold the boat up, and you can have a 5 horsepower in the back. It's called a portable, and you can store it in the back of your car. Easy maneuver from that side.
And what type of a motor is that?
It's a 5 horsepower 4-stroke or 2-stroke. So 2-stroke will be the 4 horsepower. But now, obviously, with emissions and that type of thing, the 5 horsepower 4-stroke is a great little setup.
There was always a problem with 4 strokes and letting them lie down. Has Yamaha sorted the problem?
Yes, like I said, obviously with 4 strokes, you don't have, sort of the exhaust valve will be open from that side, and the oil, if you lie it flat, will run out into your motor, which can damage it. Now, obviously, Yamaha's got a system where it protects itself. So once it shuts off, it actually shuts that valve where you can lie the engine flat on a certain angle. It's got a little foot piece where you lie it down to, so it won't damage it from that, which is a great little feature on the 4-stroke engine. So all Yamaha 4-stroke portable motors will come with that feature. So you don't have to worry about damaging when you move it around from place to place. The little boat you mentioned, the 3.6 horsepower, slightly bigger, up to 15 horsepower. When you get to 15 horsepower, you can actually, if you put the correct prop on it, you can actually get it onto the plane, you and your friend, obviously, depending on the size, that type of thing. And that's a step up from a smaller little boat.
Something interesting on I've also got one of those little 5 horsepower 4 strokes, and on the 3.2 with the keel, when I'm alone on the rubber duck, I can get it to plane.
That's great. Well, that's
it runs like 25 km an hour.
I assume with the keel system, obviously, it helps the boat to lift a little bit out the water.
And to steer.
100%, yeah. So you get a better tracking.
With a flat bottom, it's not as easy. You can't get it to plane. It sort of sticks to the water.
Correct, yeah.
But with a keel, you get it out.
100%, yeah.
What is the difference in consideration between a 4 horsepower 2-stroke and a 5 horsepower 4-stroke? Well,
look, what's
the advantages of either?
A lot of customers or fishermen go for the 4-stroke model these days because back in the day, the 4-strokes were heavier. They were more expensive from a development point of view. So when they entered the market, they were more expensive. Now you get a situation where your 4-stroke models are very much in line with the 2-stroke, but of 2-strokes has been phased out. So person who would buy a new motor would lean towards the 4-stroke motor. there's a lot of two-stroke motors out in the marketplace, pre-owned, which there's nothing wrong with. But obviously, a new entry to market is the four-stroke. There's no that two-stroke smell. It's a very quiet motor. It's very smooth. So your power deliverance is much more torquey in the bottom range. So it's a stronger little motor.
Isn't the two-stroke motor lighter for the same horsepower?
On the same horsepower, it's a muchness. You're looking at 2 to 3 kilograms.
Oh, okay, so it's not that much.
Not that much. Like I said, technology has advanced so much now that your weight difference in two-stroke and four-stroke is very much on the same level, because technology has evolved with new innovations and things, especially your bigger engines as well now.
And with those 5 horsepower four strokes, they are so light on juice, and you can actually have a connector onto a tank.
Absolutely, external tank. Yeah.
And with about an 8-liter tank, you can. Yes, I think we've done maybe 3 days constant taking lines out 400 or 500 meters.
Yeah. So it won't break the bank. You know, this fuel price that's so cheap these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, as we know, I mean, having a little 5 horsepower, it's got the little portable tank on top. And like you said, you can spend days on water out there. So you don't have to worry about refilling all the time. No, it's definitely a fuel saver.
When I go bigger boats, inland versus estuary and so forth, when do I switch? When do I put a single motor? When do I put twins?
Look, obviously with estuary fishing, a single motor is the norm. If you feel comfortable with a single motor, just from a safety perspective, because obviously with estuaries, you can, if there's issues, you're right there by the bank, or you're not too far from where you need it to be. Obviously, there's bigger dams out there like Stakfontein and Loskop, where a lot of guys still go with your twin engine installation from a safety perspective. Obviously, if one breaks and you've got to back up on the other one. So, but once again, the estuaries are single motor, more flatter boats, obviously for casting, that type of thing. You'll see a lot of those American boats, the skiffs. There's a lot of boats out there as well where it's got a much more flatter deck. The gunnels are lower. Obviously, with the estuaries, you don't get chopped. I'm not talking about Stakfontein on a nasty day, as you know. But
or Witstrand.
Or Witstrand for that matter, 100%. But yeah, generally speaking, a nice little 17-foot boat skiff with a single motor on the back, estuary fishing. Offshore fishing is totally different again. For the simple reason, bigger boat, twin motors inside for safety purposes, and then obviously the size. Once again, small 17-foot can go up to a 32-foot boat, depending on what you want to do. Towability, storage, and from that perspective.
Now, some guys want to go fishing and just get there. Mm-hmm. Some guys want to go fishing and be there first. Mm. And our friends in the bassing fraternity is obviously
100%.
Those guys that want to be there first.
Yes.
So they tend to go faster and bigger motors. Where is the limit? When is the motor too big for the boat? And how do I decide what can it take and when I'm on the edge, and how? What are the things I need to consider to stay safe?
Look, I think the South African culture is bigger, better. Mm-hmm. So there's no sort of limit to it. But if you look at I always use the American market. They build a boat with a certain horsepower rating on there, which means that boat is safe to operate with that horsepower rating on the back. Obviously, we as Yamaha import a skeeter range. The bigger skeeters like your FXR 21s and new models coming out, they'll have a horsepower of 250 horsepower on the back. So what it means is that boat was tested with 250 horsepower at optimum conditions at 135 kilometers an hour. Safe to operate, no problem. You can put a 300 horsepower or 400 horsepower on the back, but then it becomes obviously dangerous to operate. Like I said, the African market like to put bigger things out there. Once again, it's in your own ability how to operate the boat and how you feel safe to operate. And then from a manufacturer point of view as well, I mean, you don't want to put a 400 horsepower boat on a boat that can only take a 250. Safety, structure, and from that perspective. So normally use the application of horsepower rating within the safe operation limits of the boat.
What are the things I need to consider when I choose a prop?
Yeah, propping is a very broad discussion. It's a very difficult discussion sometimes because you've got a lot of different opinions to it. Yamaha range have a certain prop range designed for a certain model of engine and application. I think where a lot of customers get it wrong sometimes or advice is getting put the wrong prop on the wrong application. The 4-stroke engine is slightly different from your 2-stroke engine, which means your 2-stroke engine needs to use RPMs to get to its optimal operation, where a 4-stroke engine needs to run at a more mid-range level for best optimum operation. More torque, that type of setup. However, the outboard engine is designed to run in its full RPM range. In other words, if it says 6,000 RPMs, that engine can run to 6,000 RPMs, especially with your offshore boats, where we get a lot of problematic areas is when the propping is incorrect. So when you take let's say if you take an offshore boat of 25 foot, you put 2 set of 200 inline fours on it, and the boat fully loaded doesn't get to its optimum 6,000 RPM revs with the fully loaded, only gets to, let's say, 4.5, that's problematic, which means you need to pitch down.
Okay.
The engine needs to run in its optimum range because a thing you get is overfueling. So what happens is if you're at full throttle, it's called wide open throttle, and the engine only does 4,500 amps, the computer, the ECU, actually tells it fuel for that amount of rev, which means you get fuel dilation, which is a problem in the offshore series. So propping is essential, especially in the offshore.
You need to run at that rest.
You need to run at that. The engine won't break. It's designed to do that, fully loaded. So make sure when you take your 4-stroke engine in your boat out there, make sure the propping and the rev range is correct. If not, speak to your nearest Yamaha dealer, and we'll assist on that side to make sure you're in the right range.
The last question I have, now with all the nice technology, and especially on the larger motors, with fancy trim and tilt and all the electronics and everything that you need, going out and surf launching as Mark showed us now, I see when they run out on the beach, the motors pop up.
Yes.
But on my motor, it's quite fixed with the trim and tilt.
How and what?
Yeah,
it's quite interesting.
How is that done?
So it's called the beach kit, which they fit to the motors, the trim unit itself. So very basic. We strip out the trim and tilt pump. It's a little inside spring inside the trim unit, which is adapted with little different ball bearings, and then put back together again. So what happens is you'll still have the trim capability, but it doesn't actually get stuck in a certain place. So when you come running out onto the beach, it absolutely helps you to release a little bit of tension.
So it can trip upwards, but pressure downwards it will
100%.
Okay, so as long as you've got... What happens when you need to reverse quickly then? Does it kick up?
Sometimes depending on who is done, who did the beach kit, sometimes it's done but the spring is a little bit too loose, so when you reverse it actually starts kicking up. So there's once again, there is no sort of aftermarket thing you can go and buy and say this is the beach kit, because in South Africa I think we're the only guys in the world
that run out on the beach.
100%. When we had the Japanese here, they couldn't believe what we're doing. It's like, no, it's not possible. Are you crazy? 100%. Yeah. So yes, there's no sort of off-the-shelf thing. There's certain specialists out there in the market, especially you guys from your Durban dealers. And they've got the technique sort of buttoned down. 100%.
So it's good, like a limited slip type of a...
If you can put it that way,
So yes. if you reverse slowly, it won't trip. When you run out on the beach, it will trip up.
Yeah. Where obviously your harbour launching guys, like in Cape Town or wherever, they don't have it because it's harbour launching. 100%.
Sorry, that wasn't the last question. Your 300 V6 new monster.
Yes, the new ones. Yeah.
What is special about them?
So it was launched last year, sort of in the COVID era, I think, at new refined 250 and 300 horsepower. We've had the previous model, which was the F250D and 300B. Now it's the 250P and G. It's just a model designation. Yeah. So what Yamaha has done, they've put a nicer look to it, as you can see. But the internals has been changed from better gears in the gearbox, longer levity. The exhaust trunk has been changed, better coating. It's called the YDC 30 coating, which is our unique Yamaha coating from that side, which helps anti-corrosion. It's a better cleaning running mode. So we've actually fitted a couple of pairs to our hard bay fleet, 2 Oceans marine boats. And the guys, they love the motor. Better fuel consumption, cleaner, quieter. It's really, and obviously adapted with the new Hellmaster system, fully controllable.
Yeah, it's a beautiful motor, eh?
It's beautiful. Yeah, and obviously it comes with it's called the Pearl White color as well, which is the new look apparently these days.
Okay. Well, it's a beautiful, and you can go and read everything about it. Yes, brilliant product. And quite powerful as well.
No, 100%.
V6 4.2 litre.
V6 4.2 litre, yeah.
Fuel economy?
Well, once again, it depends on your application. If I use the Two Oceans fleet in Cape Town, Hout Bay Harbour, on a round trip of about 110 to 103 nautical miles, the saving on that can anything between, once again, propping is essential and setup. The guys can save anything from 20 to 50 litres on a trip, which I've heard now on the application.
That's significant.
Yeah, we've got a charter company running those motors, and the guys, they make great fun. That's the main thing these days, obviously, with fuel as it is.
Yeah, I've seen the chart actually says it's great motors.
Yeah.
Well, brilliant. So we're going to get one of these to give away at one of our readers.
What, your magazine? Yes, definitely.
Oh, that would have been great. Yeah. No, we might have another surprise for you in another day. So let's go and have a look at something that you can go and buy. Very interesting vehicle that Gijs Spitzer Motors Grant from Silver Lakes has put something together just for you or your wife.
Hi, welcome back to Gijs Spitzer Motors Silver Lakes. I'm Grant, and my pick of the week is the 2022 Toyota RAV4 2.5 GXR Hybrid. Now we all know in this time petrol prices are going up. This is a perfect car to bring your expenses down. This car has a beautiful interior with an orange trim, has 131 kilowatts, so you're not short of power at all there. It comes with hill assist, park assist, 3 USB ports and a wireless charger to charge your phone on the road. It is the perfect mommy van that saves you money. Contact Gijs Spitzer Motors today and avoid the waiting list.
Well, I tried to give away one of those new 300s as part of the show, but Melvin doesn't want to hear anything about it. Maybe as a consolation prize, I will have the privilege to jump on one of these boats that has got some of these on and do a review on those motors. So maybe we'll see that. But Melvin, with load shedding and camping and all these difficulties that we have, Yamaha's quite big on generators, especially the small mobile ones.
Yes, absolutely. We've got a nice range.
What is your range from where to where?
Look, small portable ones, winning your ET1, which is a small little generator. I mean, very portable. You can plug your lights into that type of thing. So at a camping site, which is very popular among the camping guys, plug a lighting bulb into it and use it from that side. Then the next one up is your inverter generator. Inverters meaning obviously you can plug your TVs, anything, your computer to charge, that type of thing. And the more
it basically cleans.
100%, yes. So, and the current apparent is cleaner than your Eskom current, that type of thing, the wave inside. So it's a very nice, unique little thing. The more popular one is sort of your 2.2 kilowatts from a size perspective and not too heavy to carry around. And that's the more popular one. So it's a great little. And then obviously you get your bigger generators.
Up to where do you go on the generators?
For South African market, we try to bring into up to 5.5 and your 7.2 kilowatts because then it becomes big. Yamaha does a bigger diesel ones as well, but it's not for our base, for our usage in our country. So we only bring in the ones that's more suitable for us, basically, and more popular on that side.
Well, then, how about having a generator as a price for a member's price, maybe a long-term?
Look, I suppose I can't give you 300. So let me go out and have a think about it. Yeah, so let's see what we can come up with.
Okay, so maybe we've got some good news in a program or two to come.
Yeah.
Talking about program to come, next week on Tuesday night, we have Skalk van Breda and Petri de Wet on the show, and we're going to talk freshwater angling, bank angling, and net lekker visvang. Volgende week dinsdag aand, maak seker julle kyk, Petri de Wet en Skalk van Breda. Ons kuier saam met hulle. Nou natuurlik het ons nodig om 'n wenner aan te kondig. So wat gee ons eerste weg? Die Avenger. Is dit korrek? Daar sê. So ons gee die Avenger weg. Die Avenger is 'n members prize, natuurlik vir ons getroue For Anglers lede. If it wasn't for Anglers members who sign up and read all the more than 4,000 articles on the site, watch all the videos, and be part of it, we will not be able to sit here and talk fishing to you. So thank you to all our loyal members. Here's something for you and everybody that entered in the last month or renewed their, I can almost say vows, renewed their membership. You are in the draw for this beautiful ProLogic made Avenger 8000 made possible by ProLogic themselves. Let's spin. Okay, Melvin, jy gaan vir ons die wenner aankondig daar.
En die wenner
Sal groot word.
Stefanus Fourie. Baie geluk.
Stefanus Fourie, baie geluk. Jy wen vir jouself 'n ProLogic Avenger. Moontlik gemaak natuurlik. Met komplimente van Formalito, hulle is die verspreiders van ProLogic. En die prys word vir jou afgelewer met die komplimente van JKJ Express Couriers. JKJ Express Couriers delivers countrywide and they are well priced, reliable and quick. They are here almost every day doing something, delivering something for us, delivering something to us, and obviously getting all our prizes to our winners. Now the next draw, now this was an interesting one. This Daiwa sling, it's a retainer sling that you saw the video. If you haven't seen the video, how we put a 58 kilogram carp, or let me say fish, in this sling, go and watch it on one of our previous lives or on For Anglers. So you had to answer 3 different questions, and there were not so many guys that were right, but here are the names, and let's spin.
Sean Dawson.
Sean Dawson, you now need to catch a PB, retain it in the sling, weigh it, and it must be more than 30 kilograms. And, and you need to send us the photo for a nice cover pic. Well, that is what we have for tonight. So thank you. Thank you to Gijspitzer Motors as main sponsor, Ryan Audiovisual, our section sponsors, Yamaha, Kingfisher, and For Anglers that made it available. Then obviously Daiwa for the prize and ProLogic. Then remember the competition coming up this coming weekend, and also the beautiful prize that is made available by Campmaster that will run for the next couple of weeks. And then to Melvin, there's only one more thank you. Now, Melvin, there are not many guys that has a For Anglers live flask. It's a thermal flask, and it's for those cold days that you go out on the Atlantic Ocean to catch that 100 kilo
fantastic.
tuna. And going out there, you are allowed to have a little bit of police coffee in.
Police coffee. Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, man. It was great being here. Fantastic.
Okay, so be at World of Yamaha coming weekend, Friday to Sunday. Go watch everything. There's going to be a number of boats. Go pull yourself one out. Go look at what they have. Go listen to Mark Delahaye, Laurence, and all the technical information that you will get from the friendly Yamaha crew there. They will help you out. If you just want to go and do some window shopping, go and check it out. Maybe in a year's time when you win the lotto, you can pull out a nice big rig with 200-300s on the back. See you next week, Tuesday, same time.